This is Gilbert speaking. Concerning the album I had released recently, let me see. To start with, it was the songs for it were written mostly in Portugal. I spent 3 months in Portugal, and because it gave me peace and quiet, and it was nice weather, so I enjoyed that very much. As I say, most of the songs were written there, and the album itself was recorded jointly in New York and in Los Angeles, which, compared to the other albums, which were all done here, was for me, it made a big difference. The technical side working in America is unbelievable compared to England. The musicians I don't think are any better. It's just the atmosphere working in Los Angeles, which is very sunny and sort of a nice atmosphere. And of course they don't all pick the Daily Mirror up every 5 minutes, start reading newspapers. So it was a good experience. I think in future all our new albums will be recorded in America. And that's really it. The title of it is A Stranger in My Own Backyard. Yeah, the opening track is like an intro. In the past, on my first album, I had an introduction. On the second album, I had an intro and an outro. The third album, I thought, well, I'd keep it off. But it seemed that a lot of people liked it and wrote me letters saying, why did you leave those things off? And they'd like to see them back. So, of course, for the fourth album, I was trying to think of something other than just saying this is the next album and it's called this. So I thought of incorporating all the albums in the past. Number 1, which was himself. Number 2, number 3, and this is not number 5, but number 4.
In the beginning there was one, himself had just begun. Then along came number 2. The other way round, here's your clue. And after that came 3. Written by you know me. Now I'm not saying anymore, except to tell you that this is not number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 5, but number 4.
A Woman's Place is in the Home. Let me see. Originally, I just wrote the song because it was a good title. No other reason than that. Normally, when I write songs, I just make a list of titles. Not always, but a lot of times I write down lines that sound good. And it seemed to me A Woman's Place is in the Home just sounded nice. So I based the song around that. And as it happens, I wouldn't say it was my own personal opinion, but it certainly got me into a lot of trouble from women's liberation.
Be old-fashioned, so what if I am? I'm not any different to any other man. I'm not one of those who look for blood from a stone, but I believe a woman's place is in the home. I'm not one to kid you. You know it's not my style. I wouldn't want to hurt you, not even for a while. I'm all for a woman who can make it on her own, but I believe a woman's place is in the home. Baby, I believe, yes indeed, I do. A woman's place, a woman's place, a woman's place is in the home. wonder what would have happened had a woman flattened Rocky Massey on his nose. Would there have been a change of use? Would women no longer be used the way they seem to think they're being? I know what you're thinking, and you've every right to moan, but I believe a woman's place is in the home. Baby, I believe, yes indeed, I do. A woman's place, a woman's place, a woman's place is in the home. A woman's place is in the home. A woman's place is in the home. A woman's place, a woman's place, a woman's place is in the home. A woman's place is in the home. A woman's place is in the woman's place. A woman's place is in the home. A woman's place is in the woman's place. A woman's place is in the home. A woman's place is in the woman's place. A woman's place is in the
A lot of my songs get influenced by songs that I hear on the radio. I think I was influenced by some good time record that came out at that time. And although I was influenced by it, the song itself is nothing like that particular song. And the nice thing about this track is the fact that there's like a trad band comes in about halfway through, but you don't suddenly this band appears. In fact, what I wanted was just to have a piano and voice right up to that point. Then suddenly this trad band comes in and it goes out again, and we finish the song. I think, I mean, that's one of the good effects on the opening track. Number 4 is suddenly you hear just the piano and voice sing. In the beginning there was one and so forth. Then all of a sudden you hear a huge orchestra playing a lovely piece, and it's just for about 10 seconds, a whole orchestra. Obviously we didn't just bring them in on the day to do that. They were there to do other material as well, but we used it on that track, and it sounds marvellous. So that's the nice thing about No More. And the song is just like it's a very sort of very English song in the sense that the boyfriend goes to his girlfriend's house and the mother doesn't like him, so she tells him to get knotted, you know.
Tried to see you yesterday. I had so many things I wanted to say. Yet when I knocked, your mother answered the door, said I can see you no more. Why, I asked her politely. You're not her type, she said, you're too carefree. So take your bunch of wild petunias and go. We don't want you here no more. Now why does it always have to be me who gets picked up on just like 3 daisies in a jam jar looking bored, or 3 Spanish bullfighters that have just been gored? Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Why don't you try helping me by telling your mother how charming I can be? And maybe the next time that I knock on your door, she won't send me away no more. Now why does it always have to be me who gets picked up on just like 3 daisies in a jam jar looking bored, or 3 Spanish bullfighters that have just been gored? Why don't you try helping me by telling your mother how charming I can be. And maybe the next time that I knock on your door, she won't send me away no more.
This track is one of my favorites, mainly because of the ending, I think. I would say that the song, the basic song, is if you like, if you were to categorize Gilbert O'Sullivan, it's in a sense a typical Gilbert O'Sullivan song. It's the pathos, and it's got the sort of reflective lyric. But it's nice. It's different stories in each verse, which my manager doesn't particularly like. He always likes a song to have a story from beginning to end, the same story. But I like songs that one verse is about one particular event and the next verse is something completely different. In fact, there are about 4 different, well, not messages, there's no messages, there's 4 different comments about various things in the song. Sadness being one of them. And of course the ending, which is the bit that knocks me out. It's like another song. And it has nothing to do with the song itself, but as a record, it all fits together. It's nice. And you'll hear the voices coming in like an echo at the end, which is very effective. I don't know how they did that, but it sounds very good. Makes me sound even better. And that track is It's So Easy to Be Sad.
See the statues in the square, they almost look alive. It's amazing after all these years how they've survived. 2 young children gazing at them, faces so forlorn. One is saying to the other, I wonder how they're born. It's funny how we always tend to look back on our past as if they were the only good times that we're ever going to have. See the river heading outwards, watch the ships sail in. Notice how despite their size they very rarely sink. Tell the man who's watching with you his shoelaces undone. When he looks, pretend you didn't notice you were wrong. And anytime there's trouble up ahead, don't get into a state where you wish you were dead. Just take your time and do what you believe is right. It could turn out to be a blessing in disguise. It's funny how we always tend to overlook the bad. Doesn't anybody know that it's so easy to read, the more you do, the less you get. Although I would say that it was pretty grim. Although on the other hand, I got a ring. Mass unemployment's at an all-time best. Why not quit your job and take a whirling brisk roll on the dole? That's the life I need. Everybody's doing it, so why not me? It's so easy to be sad. It's so easy to be sad. It's so easy, so easy, so easy to be sad. It's so easy to be sad. It's so easy, it's so easy, it's so easy to be sad.
My father is, again, like No More, for me it's very English. To analyse why I write a song like that, I suppose it's because a lot of my influences, again, come from newspapers. And the fact that I live in England, I read English newspapers, and you get those sort of basic stories. I think it's a very basic song. Even more basic, perhaps, because it's just a piano and voice, and I think a euphonium in the middle that plays a nice solo. What else can I say? I think to many European people, they won't really understand it, but perhaps they'll like the melody of it and the euphonium. I think it's probably where it'll be understood the most and appreciated lyrically, if at all, is in England. Things like, he came home and found me in bed, my father, and his birthday's next week. Well, it's there in the song, and as I say, it's called My Father.
I shudder to think what my father would think if he came home and found me in bed with more than just one, but several of some lovely big strawberries. He'll probably shout, "Give me a hell of a clout," or perhaps a good kick up the rear. But one thing's for sure, I'll have to endure a great deal of pain, so to speak. I know it's not right, but for a laugh every night I knock on people's doors and shout things like, "Up yours." I'll never know why, but for some reason I never did well at school. All I did was break rules and tell lies. His birthday's next week, so I thought as a treat I would buy him his favorite book. It's not one of those with poetic prose, just full frontal nudity.
The Marriage Machine is, again, is one of my favourite songs. I think I have about 4 or 5 favourites off the album. It's So Easy to Be Sad was one. I think this is the next one. It's a nice story. I think it does reflect my own views on marriage and the fact that it seems to me on reading newspapers and observing people generally who are married, especially young people, if you go to towns like Swindon, where my family live, in the west of England, or you go any of those small towns around the country, you'll see people get married young, and it seems to me they get married and after maybe 2 years they become thoroughly disillusioned because they expect it to be a bed of roses right from the start. I think so many... Well, I can't be sure because I have no facts, but it would appear to me that a lot of people do get married thinking that because they have a good honeymoon and because everything is rosy in the first year or so, it's always going to be like that. They don't seem to realize that there's going to be times when they're going to hate each other's guts, as we say. And so really the song is about that. It's not, I'm not trying to preach or anything, it's really just observing and giving a sincere opinion. And the marriage, and it seems to me that marriage today is a machine, so hence the title, The Marriage Machine.
There will be days we'll be in each other's ways, down each other's throats like you wouldn't believe. But then was it said, married life begins in bed and ends up somewhat disparagingly. You say to me that you love me truly. I say to you likewise, I feel just the same. But then who really knows when two people get that close that their feelings to each other won't change? I'll kiss you and then I'll kiss you once again, pray to God once we get married there just won't come a time when we'll wish we'll have changed our minds, a problem to end all our dreams. Just you wait and see. But don't be upset. After all, that's what you get when you become part of the marriage machine. Part of the marriage machine.
This is one of the songs that when I played to Gordon and he heard the lyric, he said, oh, it's a nice melody, very nice melody. But the lyric is wrong. He wanted sort of a love lyric. He imagined sort of boy meets girl. Gordon likes that kind of thing, and I think he's fair in saying that. But for me, it's one of those songs where each verse has a different story to tell. And in fact, in the first verse, about the line about my old teacher had a belt which he kept around his shoulder blade, therefore the mistakes we made. I'm sure if my old teacher is still around today, he'll shudder when he hears that, because it's very true. He used to wear a big leather strap in his shoulder. A Scotsman, Mr. Clayle, I think his name was. And he used to sort of be hunched up, and you wouldn't see the strap. But if you were biting your fingernails or you were drawing doodles on your, or scraping a penknife on your desk or something, you come over and suddenly whip this strap out and smack you across the fingers. It's almost sadistic. But so that verse reflects that, and each other verse in the song, and whatever, the middle 8 sections, are all, again, different little stories. I also like the line, it's easy for me to say this, but I like the line, funny old world this, haven't you noticed? Everything's glued on, nothing is screwed on. Someday we will come unstuck. I like that.
If you ever go to school, then you'll know that it's a fool who believes a teacher's pet is a pupil like yourself. For if I remember well, my old teacher's was a belt which he kept around his shoulder blade, there for the mistakes we made. Have you ever been to sea and been told reluctantly that if you have one more drink, we're all liable to sink? If you have, all I can say is have a happy holiday, and don't come back without a tan, especially from a far-off land. Funny old world this, or haven't you noticed? Everything's glued on, nothing is screwed on. One day we will come unstuck, but until then we're in luck. If you ever feel the need to go out and plant a seed, then by all means go ahead. I won't stop you, but instead I will tell you where to go and the seeds that you can grow. And by way of payment back, I think you could buy us all a drink. Funny old world this, or haven't you noticed? Nothing is certain, gone for a burden. Something must be done, they say, but for the moment it can wait.
This track is a blues. I always like to do bluesy song. The person who taught me to play piano, a friend of mine, just taught me basic blues chords, and so I used to play all Flat Domino things and Chuck Berry stuff on the piano in a basic blues sequence, which is very easy once you get a few lessons in it. And so I write a few blues songs now and then because they're nice things to sort of warm up to. But the nice thing about this track is the fact that towards the end it suddenly changes tempo, and there's a lovely solo on a French horn. We could have got a very hip synthesizer to do it, or we could have got some wailing guitar sound. But sometimes I feel old-fashioned, and I think French horns are nice, and it sounded very good. The thing is, the title is something that everybody says. It's in England. It's a very common saying. In fact, I can guarantee that amongst anybody in a matter of hours, if you just watch people listening to people talk, somebody will say the thing is this, or but the thing is whatever. So I'm quite pleased about that.
Oh, I was walking down the street when a man came up to me and said, "Don't I know you?" And I said, "Well, you might do. But the thing is, the thing is, I don't know you." Now I was driving in my car, and I had not gone very far when from out of nowhere I thought I saw a big bear. But the thing is, the thing is, no bear was there. Did somebody here just mention Hong Kong? Isn't that the place where Susie Wong's from?
Correct.
I saw the film.
And did you like it?
Well, to be honest, I didn't mind. Whoa, whoa, Now I was sitting back in my chair when a man came on the air and said, well, hello there. And I said, well, hello there. But the thing is, who the thing is, I don't have a radio, I don't have a radio, but I've got a sister in crew. I don't have a radio, I don't have a radio, and I've got a brother there too. Do you? But before you turn to the other side, you can go out with a taste of the music I provide. There are songs that I've written recently, like it will be done, I will become, not this or that or thee, but something far more mature, like victory. And some that were written previously, why not hear me?
Side 2 of the album starts with a good rocker. It's called Just Like Me. Again, this is quite an old song. It didn't turn out the way I expected it, but then again, it was as good as I expected in another way. We recorded it in New York, in fact, but it was mixed in Los Angeles. We had very good musicians, and really there's not too much to say about it, except it's a good rocky number. I think Johnny did a nice brass arrangement, Johnny Spencer, which is good. I said to Johnny, we want something like Superstitious. I think the first time this kind of brass sequence was used was on Superstition by Stevie Wonder. It's sort of almost like a solo brass figure as opposed to sustained notes. Sustained notes mean just holding notes. And so Johnny did this, and I think for me, that's what makes the thing. That's what pleases me about the track, is the brass in it. And if Johnny was listening, he'd be very pleased.
On the outskirts of town, there's a rockin' little band that'll have you jumping up and down. You just grab your car and take a drive, and you will see you'll be rocking just like me. If you don't wanna dance, you can watch the band play. Yeah. Woo! I can guarantee you there with every minute of each day. So just grab your car and take a drive and you will see you'll be rocking just like me, baby. Just like me. Just like me, baby. Woo! Just like me. Just like a little Richard, ooh, and just like Chuck Berry cruising, baby, wait and see. Over in the corner, sitting all on her own, sits a little lady by the name of Joan. The Joan is there to help you if you need a hand, but only for a price, do you understand? Woo! You can watch the band play, yeah. Like that. I can guarantee you there with every minute of each day, yeah. So just grab your car, take a drive, and you will see you'll be rocking just like good old, just like me, baby. Just like me, just like me, baby. Just like me, just like a little Richard, just like Chuck Berry cruising, baby, 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 wait and see, yeah. Oh, just like me, baby. Woo. Just like me, baby. Oh, just like me. Just like Chuck Berry cruising, just like a little Richard, baby, 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 wait and see, yeah. Now, like that. Oh, just like me.
The second track, Victory, is confusing to a lot of people. Most of the mail I get from people abroad, they don't understand the lyrics at all. In fact, it's one of my nonsense songs. I occasionally write nonsense songs because I think being a songwriter, variety is this. Well, of course, variety is the spice of life, but it's also very important not to get in a rut, so to speak. So it's nice to write love songs. It's nice to write songs that have different content in every verse. It's also nice to write funny songs or ridiculous, stupid songs. I wouldn't say this was stupid, but it is a nonsense song as such. The title is simply because of the line I say something far more mature like Victory. That came about because of Victor Mature. And so I imagined, I couldn't find out what his middle name was, but I thought it was E. Because I was going to call the song Victor A, then I was going to call it Victor B. But the thing about Victory is it's got the two meanings. It's victory without the Y, except it's got an E, so it sounds like victory. And Victor E Mature, which to me is interesting, but probably to the majority of people who hear the track, it means nothing. But it's a pretty little melody, and it's got a nice madrigal thing, little coming in the middle, which is not instrumentally, which is nice too. It's a nice soft track.
This pleasure book I'm writing doesn't give me any thrill. All it does is prove conclusively where there's a way, there's Will. Who, by the way, along with Mary, Peter, Patsy and Paul, had the cheek to turn the other when the other was on the ball. It will be done, thy will become not this or that or thee, but something far more mature, like victory. I can't forget the moment of my very first affair, when the lights were low, the music so soft, Fred, my record player, began to do the two-step side by side, my prize antique. And before you know it, there they were, engaging cheek to cheek. It will be done, thy will become not this or that or thee, but something far more mature, like victory. If ever there's a moment I feel absolutely sure that what I'm about to verge upon won't rate the least obscure, then just to recap on that point, I'd like now this to say: when the Indians begin to charge, what will the cavalry pay? It will be done, thy will become, not this or that or thee, but something far more mature, like victory. It will be done, thy will become, not this or that of thee, but something far more mature, like victory. Victor A, Victor B, Victor C, Victor D, Victory.
I Wonder Would You Mind is for me one of those songs that I can't see any other accompaniment being on them. I usually, when I write songs and things, I sit down at the piano and I go through songs just to warm myself up. And I Wonder Would You Mind is one of those. On the past albums, I've never really had songs with just piano and voice, and I've always wanted to. And Gordon said, well, there's plenty of time. So for this album, I said, well, how about let me do one of those songs of mine with just piano and voice? Because it's not that he's against it, but he likes using orchestras and things. And for him, just a piano and voice almost sounds like a demo. But he agreed with me in the fact that on an album, to give variety, it's nice to have a track, because there's something very intimate about just piano and voice. A lot of people do it, but for me it's unusual. And with there being a lot of orchestration on the album, I think it's nice to have a song that comes in with just piano and voice. I can't really tell you what it's about. Again, it's one of those songs that probably means more to me than anybody. And it displays my terrible piano playing in the middle.
Did you ever?
Never.
Neither have I. Well, pardon me for breathing, but would you give me back my cup? You know the one I mean. Yes, you do, because I've seen you take it out from time to time. I wonder, would you mind? Excuse me, ma'am, your hand, it's on my knee. Oh, would you mind removing it? My collar's getting rather stiff, and I'm not one to fuss. But if I don't catch my bus, I'm afraid I won't be home in time. I wonder, would you mind if I asked you for a date? Kept you out 3 hours late. Would you be happy or upset? Would you no longer have respect for me? Would I just be a danger? Your mark, get set, already go. And don't be such a silly ass. Just because you failed to pass, it doesn't mean to say you can't try another day. Why, even failure's passing time. I wonder, would you mind?
15 times. It's a good happy thing. It's my mother's favourite, because it's chaka like that. It's a good happy song. It's got funny little lines. I think it was one of the last songs I wrote in Portugal. We were nearing the end of my stay there. I was there with my brother, and it was a fun song. I'd written a few serious songs before that, love songs. So I thought it was just one of those mornings I got up and the tempo. I mean, if you have a melody that's in the tempo of this song, you couldn't write anything but sort of happy lyrics. And we had a percussionist on the session, and we did it in Los Angeles. I think his name was Harvey Mason, sorry. He's a very popular drummer in America. I think probably people on the West Coast would know who he was. Probably very few people in Europe or in England would know. And he had this amazing case of percussion. It was almost about twice the height of him, which he'd open out, and it was full of bells, car horns, you name it. Any kind of sound you wanted. For instance, Gordon would say, well, have you got this? Sort of looking at everybody as much to say, he'll never have that. And suddenly he'd produce it. And we used them all on the record. Jews harps, car horns, whistles, Christmas crackers, God knows what. Everything under the sun. Obviously, we used more than you actually hear on the record. That's almost in the background. There's too many things. Spoil it. And it's a good effect. In fact, I did the song in Holland on the TV recently, and I got these old ladies. And what I intended to do was to play the song, and then when the instrumental came, I asked the people to supply me with just a box full of toy trumpets and tambourines and whistles. And so I played them myself. But on the actual recording, it's a sort of family show, a TV show over there. I think the lady was Liz Bellman. She's a nice, very nice lady. It was her show. And so when the actual show, which is live, goes out live at night, what I did was I got these about a dozen old women in the audience. I gave them each a trumpet and a tambourine. So when the instrumental came, I got them all to play and blow whistles. It was very effective. It was just a fun thing. It's a good party little record.
Move along, move along, move along, said the man with the uniform on. Get away, get away, get away, said the goldfish to the whale. Oh, what have I done now? And the goldfish replied, you fool, you're too big for me, and I'm too yellow for you. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, said the greyhound to her pup. What a life, what a life, what a life, said the husband to his wife. Oh, where did we go wrong? And the husband, to put it crude, said, you're no fun anymore, and I'm fed up with you and me. And baby makes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 times 44 is 660. Said the masochist to his friend. What a cheek, what a cheek, what a cheek, said the hen to the Portuguese. Oh, what have we done wrong? And the hen replied, you fools, you're too many for me, and I'm too chicken for you and me. And baby makes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 times 44 is 660.
This is another one of my favourites. This was considered for a single prior to A Woman's Place coming out. It's for me, I think it's very West Coast in sound. It's very American. Again, it was one of the songs I wrote in Portugal. The story itself is fiction, but for me it concerns a person who has only got so many weeks or months to live, so his family have sent him abroad just to soak up the sun and basically end his life there. and he has no financial worries. All he has to do is just, spend hours every day on the beach or roaming around until eventually he will die. And so the song for me is about that. But people have come up to me and said, "Oh, I like that song very much. It's about this and that, isn't it?" And I say, no, it's a strange thing, actually. I suppose it happens with most songwriters and people who write their own material. People give them opinions of what they think the lyric is about, and they're usually totally different to what they actually are about. But I suppose that's a nice thing. Because in the past, I always remember with the Beatles, with Hey Jude, everybody used to say, "Oh, that's about this and about that. And it's got very hidden meaning," when in fact all it was about John Lennon's son, Julian. And which is, in a sense, to a lot of people, was a bit of a bring down. Because, it's only about his son, They had all these hidden meanings in it about carrying the world on his shoulder, hip lines and everything. But so it's nice to have different interpretations of what the lyrics are. I suppose it's a reflection on a, if you like, a good lyric. Because if it wasn't a good lyric, then it wouldn't be open to any other interpretation other than the fact that it wasn't very good. So, and as I say, it's one of my favourite tracks. I think did I mention the title? No, I didn't. It's nothing to do about much.
I don't know why I came here on my own. There's so little to do, I'm like a dog without a bone. If I can't get to sleep, I'll just count sheep. Nothing to do about much. Oh, I could wander for hours in the rain. Oh, I could stand on the corner, watch the traffic lights change. Boy, am I having fun. Green lights just come on. Nothing to do about much. And to tell you the truth, I'm not sure. I'm told I've got something that's difficult to cure. So it seems for the moment at least, I've got to remain where I won't freeze. There's a party at number 21. You're invited as long as you're accompanied by someone. But as I'm on my own, I'll just stay at home. Nothing to do about much. Nothing to do about much. And to tell you the truth, I'm not sure. I'm told I've got something that's difficult to cure. So it seems for the moment at least, I've got to remain where I won't freeze. Oh, I will bet you a penny to a pound that before very long I will be buried underground, pushing daisies up high. Oh, what a life. Nothing to do about much. Nothing to do about much. I've got gold in my pockets, I've got wind in my hair. I've got so much to be grateful for, of that I'm aware. I've got dreams which are nothing but the weirdest of thoughts. I've got night after night on which it appears that I ought not to cry. Don't ask me why. I might lie.
This track was, again, one of the songs in Portugal. It's a good track to have near the end of an album. It's backing wise. I asked Johnny Spence, my arranger, to get a sort of got to get you into my life kind of feel, the old Beatles song. It was that kind of brass backing I wanted on it, so I think he captured that very well. It's a totally different song, but as I was mentioning earlier, I sometimes hear records that the backing could be useful for one of my songs. So on this particular song, when I wrote it, that's the kind of arrangement I envisaged, and Johnny put that. It's good. I like it. It's a good number for stage, probably a good opening number to have in a stage act. And the title is "Can't Get You to Love Me."
Time, walk a straight line, grab a mad bull by the nose. I can stand still on an anthill and not once get itchy toes. I can even for no reason be as nice as I am rude, but I can't get you to love me. I just can't get you to love me. What do I do? I can stand up, put my hand up where perhaps it shouldn't be. I can go down to a hold down, have one hell of a yippee. I can also, if you must know, do whatever else I choose, but I can't get you to love me. I just can't get you to love me. What do I do? All of my life I've been waiting for a moment like this. Now that I've found it, you know something's amiss. Can't get you to love me. Can't get you to love me. Can't get you to love me. What do I do? Can't get you to love me. Can't get you to love me. Can't get you to love me. What do I do? I can tell tales, hammer toenails, write a letter to the Queen. I can easily and discreetly be as charming as obscene. When I feel like I can take flight, but I know one thing for sure: I just can't get you to love me. I just can't get you to love me. What do I do? All of my life I've been waiting for a moment like this, and now that I've found it, you know something's amiss. Can't get you to love me. Can't get you to love me. Can't get you to love me. What do I do? Can't get you to love me. Can't get you to love me. Can't get you to love me. What do I do? What do I do? Can't get you to love me. What do I do? Can't get you to love me. What do I do?
This is, again, instead of having an outro, saying that this is the end of the album, bye-bye, and so forth, it was nice to have something that finished, that you knew it was the end, but it was just said something else. So this was really a song that was never completed. And for me, it's very true. I mean, I believe every word of it. And it's called Always Somebody.
Whatever you are, whatever you miss, whatever you're thinking, whatever it is, whatever you feel, and whatever you do, remember there's always somebody worse off than you. Always somebody worse off than you. You know that there's always somebody worse off